Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 126 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. So if you have been thinking about starting a side hustle or becoming an entrepreneur, one of the first questions that come to mind is this: can I find stability as an entrepreneur? We often worry about that risk of unpredictable income or the additional responsibilities required to own a business. And then we put the thought of doing our own thing for our work on the back burner. And today I'll share with you why the answer to that question of can I find stability as an entrepreneur is yes. So I never thought I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I actually actively thought to myself when I was young that I never wanted to run my own business because I didn't want to have that kind of responsibility. It just seemed to be too much. Why do it if other people could do it for you? You get to just do what you're hired to do, and that's it. Doesn't that seem so much better than taking so much risk? Well, the reason why I ended up starting my own coaching business was because I didn't find the opportunity to coach in my corporate work. There just wasn't a coaching role. And also, since I would be coaching on spirituality as well as business and work and health, doing it on my own would allow me to be more spiritual, to talk about physical health, to talk about energy in ways that wouldn't create any weirdness with others in a corporate setting. And essentially, I wanted to do something my way, and I didn't see it available to me as an employee. So I became that coach that I wanted to have by my side on my own journey of going through the corporate world, not knowing, but wanting to figure out what I wanted to do next, wanting to be inspired again, wanting to do something that really brought meaning and having a deeper spiritual curiosity that I wasn't satisfying. I wanted to solve problems in the world, and I wanted to make money. So entrepreneurship was a how. It wasn't the goal. It wasn't the result I wanted. So if you're looking for entrepreneurship to be your goal, it might not be the best goal for you unless you truly desire to do all aspects of a business. If you're looking at entrepreneurship as a means to an end, for example, doing the thing you want to do on your own terms, then you'll likely be able to summon enough will and discipline to get through the things that you don't love as much so that you can have the result you desire. Either way, notice if you're not seeing the forest for the trees here, if you're looking for stability in entrepreneurship, you likely don't love entrepreneurship for entrepreneurship's sake. That is okay. Usually, those who do love to start their own businesses are more likely to enjoy the highs and lows of the business. They might actually be bored if there wasn't that feast or famine nature of the business. This doesn't mean that it stays that way. It means that they're willing to tolerate it. Separately, if you're seeing that you want to start a business because you know that it will give you what you most desire, like a business doing the work you want to do in the world, but you feel like you wish it came with a steady 9-to-5 paycheck, well then, this episode is dedicated to you. So I've been thinking about this topic a lot recently as the topic of safety and finding safety outside of material things. And finding safety within yourself has been much more on my clients' minds. While it is amazing for them to have income as an employee, they also might feel that they want to explore that option at some point in their career, that option of entrepreneurship. And some of them are already there and they've bridged both. And this is how I know the difference between those who desire to start a business because they love building businesses versus those who are in it because they think it's a means to an end. And the unpredictability and instability of it is creating some angst for them. So cutting out that safety net that you thought was in existence when you are an employee means that you have to rely on safety coming from elsewhere. It's not just employees who think this way. Entrepreneurs who have already started their businesses also struggle with safety. It's not because they aren't safe, but it's because there's been a philosophy embedded in our culture that corporate jobs are safe and that entrepreneurship is not. Yet, all corporations and bigger businesses, they started off as small businesses with entrepreneurs. They might be at a different level of maturity where they've created systems, they've created structures that support more stability. So that is a fact. But it wasn't inherently there when they came to be in this world. As they came to be bigger, they had to hire more people. And if the business tanks, these people will be laid off. And the reason we've associated safety with bigger companies is because of the size. Bigger things have bigger cushions, right? And usually big corporations will try, they don't all do, but they'll try to have these income and revenue buffers through cash reserves in their business that allow them to be more flexible when there are downs in the business. They don't want to lay off their people because the economy and business are often faced with cycles, lots of demand and then less, bull and then bear markets, inflation, recession. You want to be prepared for when you need the people to be able to secure demand and to keep paying for employees while you are building cash reserves. And the thing is, you could do the same thing as an entrepreneur. You can see the need to have cash in the business or have access to capital to help float months where there is little growth or higher expenses. You also need to be able to do whatever you need to do to keep the business going and to pay the bills. It's really no different. Safety then isn't created by the job, it's created by you. Even if you had an employee job, think about your own safety net in terms of your own personal finances. You think about that, right? In case you don't have a job or in case you get laid off, in case it takes longer to find another job than you have anticipated. You increase how much you have in savings to account for the ups and downs and the unexpected or expected job changes like layoffs. You can reduce overspending so that you can weather the storms. You can invest in things that have a higher return on your investment. And you also need faith so that if you continue to show up, add value, and be in the process and places where people need you, then you know that your time and effort will come back in terms of resources like money or the right people who can help you along the way. The same thing goes, and the same thing happened to you when you didn't have a job in college or graduate school and you were recruiting for a job. Always not knowing until you knew exactly how it would pan out, trusting that something would come through, doing whatever you know to do to make money in the meantime and be valuable in how you help. Giving up on finding a job or creating money for yourself wasn't an option. Safety is knowing you won't give up. Knowing that you can rely on yourself, that if you keep trying to protect yourself from danger or risk, this is something you will be doing no matter where you go, what job you do, or what business you start. So here are some ways that you can think about creating safety if you are an entrepreneur or if you're contemplating entrepreneurship, some tangible things that you can think about and ponder. So the first one is to diversify your revenue streams, whether it's passive income, whether it is more active income. Knowing that you have a diversified quote unquote portfolio, which includes yourself and the job you do, is one income stream. allows you to remind yourself, wait, I have money coming in more than one way. The second thing is to keep a cash reserve. That might look different depending on what your expenses are and where you live and how many people that are dependent upon you. But keeping a cash reserve, whether it's in your business and in your personal finances, is highly recommended. Number 3 is to increase your value by investing in yourself. These are things that you will take with you no matter where you will go. Number 4 is adjusting your spend or expenses. So similar to creating a cash reserve, knowing that you have levers that you can pull if the economy goes south, or knowing that you can move certain expenses and line items or delay them, and knowing which ones are fixed versus variable costs will also help you there too. Number 5 is recession-proofing your business. This might look different for you depending on what the business is. But if you are the business, then the recession-proofing your business looks like ensuring that there is professional growth, that you're differentiating yourself in some way. When you see yourself as a commodity, it's going to be hard to recession-proof your business. Whereas when you see yourself as an essential, because you have a differentiated value that you can bring, that becomes a way to recession-proof your business. You can think about this also in terms of the products that you sell as well. Number 6 is planning for slow or no growth mentally. There are so many things within our mindset that trip us up. The seeing of a no, or hearing a no, seeing a failure, seeing the bank account go down, maybe seeing something in red. The ability for you to say to yourself, okay, let me mentally prepare myself for all these different scenarios so that I can respond in the moment with what is most helpful at that time, will allow you then to be much more of a creative problem solver, to actually take the actions that you would take if you were a responsible business owner, and to actually think ahead. That's number 6. All right, number 7 is creating access to capital. So maybe you don't have cash reserves or you're still building them up, but do you know where you can go get access to capital if you need to in order to float the business for a little bit? That also reminds you that this is the world that we live in. Access to capital also creates this feeling of safety for many people, because they know that even if I don't need it, I know that I have access to it when I do need it. It's another way of thinking about increasing how resourceful you are and how many resources that the company has to tap into. Number 8 is to keep evaluating your progress, to continue what's working and adjusting what's not working. So essentially, by building more value into yourself, into your business, by improving yourself through evaluations, through doubling down on what works and what's not working, will always help you no matter what. So in summary, these are the things that you would want to create for yourself, no matter if you are employed by a company, self-employed, or looking for employment. This is how you become resourceful, which means you know how to find more resources. Notice that there was not a specific number that creates safety for you here, right? One financial number, for example. Many people think, when I have XYZ number in the bank, I will feel safe. But what happens is that goalpost just keeps moving beyond the cognitive horizon, which means you just never actually get there. You have a number, when you get there, it doesn't feel that like it means that much anymore. And as an entrepreneur, you will expect moving goalposts in terms of numbers, because that's what you're doing, right? You're stretching, you're growing, the goalpost moves. You should expect that. But safety is your ability to know that you're playing a game and to not lose yourself in what was meant to be a method only for helping you grow. for helping you do the work you've wanted to do in the world. It is just one way out of many, and you've chosen it for a reason. So this is a choice. All right, my friends, so that's it for this episode. If you are ready, I invite you to join me for spiritual achievement coaching, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are in the corporate world, whether you are looking to start your own thing, become an employee, or make some transition and have both in your life. Figuring out what's next is easier when you have a roadmap, when you have tools to help you dig deeper into your own journey of self-discovery, of meaning, of purpose, of what it is to do the work you want to do in the world and to do it your way. You will find out your blind spots and what your gifts are, and you will get coached to a deeper level than you ever thought possible. And this is what's waiting for you. So if you're ready to have that next step, reach out at www.mayemson.com/contact today. So that's it for this week, my friends. Have an amazing one, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.